Come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. I tell you, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. Good morning, everyone. This is Motivation Wednesday. No. I got it wrong. This is Wisdom Wednesday. This is the day to ask your success question. I'd love to have some dialogue this morning. And so for those of you who are plugging in or tuning in, please type in a success question, something that's bothering you, something that's keeping you from becoming the success that you want to be. King Love, thank you for joining us. Any success question, what's blocking you right now? What if there was a question that the answer could help you go closer and further down your goal path? What is that question? So, love to have you type a question in the chat there, and I'd love to respond to it. This is, of course, Dr. Herbert Harris. This is Wisdom Wednesday. We're speaking from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, and from our Success Toolbox. And those of you who are listening, be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com, and check out the Success Toolbox. This is everything you need to get anything you want. The Success Toolbox has the digital version of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, but it also has the workbook, which will help you in studying the past, studying the class, studying the book. Thanks, Dak. It has the home study course, the new You home study course that helps you assess where you are right now. Helps you look at your present condition very honestly. Helps you diagnose your situation and determine what things you need to change in your life to create the life you desire. And it helps you make new plans, set new goals, and get busy doing it. Also, there's some interesting other digital goodies, like the workbook that goes along with the home study course, a full 12 Universal Laws of Success seminar, a recording of a live seminar, and some other digital goodies that can help you, especially the 12 affirmation poster. So go to herbertharris.com and click on Success Toolbox, herbertharris.com. I want to talk today about when you are on your success path and things are just not working out the way you thought they would. And what are some of the things that you can do to help you be more successful? And I'm not just talking money success. I'm talking about relationship success. I'm talking about emotional success, where you're all right with you. I'm talking about habit success, where you're not doing things to undermine your goals, not doing things that literally shooting yourself in the foot sometimes. I'm talking about thought goals, where you control your thoughts, where the thoughts that you have are good thoughts, positive thoughts. And so when you look at how our lives progress, our lives progress a lot like stair steps. And so let's look at, say, today, right now, each of us is on a particular step in our evolution, in our growth. And in this particular step, we have thoughts, we have emotions, we have habits, we have relationships that are congruent with that step. But you know how it goes. Somehow, whatever situation you're in, there comes a point where you become unhappy. You become disappointed in your performance. Maybe you're in the step of a job, but over the last 5-10 years, you're realizing finally that that job is a nowhere job. And not only is it a nowhere job, but then you look down the line, you can see that sooner or later, they're going to get rid of you. Sooner or later, they're going to phase your position out. And it's really a frightening thought, because as we age, as we move along the age spectrum, the older you become, the different possibilities you have for employment, even for entrepreneurship. And so as we progress along these days on this particular step, and for example with the job situation, and we realize that, wow, this is not going to be good. I look around me and people who were here 3 years ago are no longer here. And it's not that they went and found a better job. It's just that the company downsized them, downphased them, outsourced them, did something that took away their earning capacity. And so you say to yourself, man, I am, and so often people say, I'm afraid. I'm anxious about it. I'm uncertain about the future. And it's this point that you have to begin to question what you have to do to go to a different place. Ronette, thank you for joining us today. What you have to do to move to a different place. And by the way, as I'm talking, I love for any of you who have a question about your own success, a question about what's going on in your life right now that you would love to have answered, please type it into the chat. Anyway, let me just do this for a second. Dr. J was so any questions you have about things blocking you or slowing you down, or situations or relationships, please type it in the chat, and I'd love to deal with it. In any event, you look at your situation today, on this step, you see down the line that it may not be positive for you. And it is at this point that you have to do 4 things. Number 1, think a new thought. So let's just look at your position, the job you're in right now. You see it's a dead-end situation. So think a new thought. Think about where you would like to be in your job, in your work life. Think about the job that you would like to have. Maybe you want to become an entrepreneur. Maybe this is your chance to go for it. But think about where you want to be. You know, when we move along this success journey, we often operate in a way of, in a manner of like a GPS. You know, when you have your GPS in your car, it requires 2 things. It requires a destination. In other words, you have to want to go somewhere. And it requires a location. You have to know where you are. And so when you look at your life right now on this particular step in your growth and your evolution, number 1, be aware of where you are. So in the job situation, I'm in a job. It pays enough to keep me moving, but I can tell it's going to go away. And so now think a new thought. What job would you like to have that can benefit you? What job can you bring value to? What skills do you possess that you can convert into money? Welcome, King. Thanks for joining us. And so as you begin this process of thinking, you're now creating a new vision of yourself, a new promised land. Think about how you want to feel. If you're anxious right now in this particular job situation, worried about losing the job, worried about having more month at the end of the money, then, you know, think about how your life could be if that were not the issue. What would your life look like if you had all the money you needed? How would your job be, or how would your profession be if you were doing something you love doing and you got paid enough for doing it to give you financial success and financial stability? Look at some habits. You know, we are always aware of our habits, so we know what's going on in our habit life. So maybe you're a smoker, it's like it's time to stop smoking. Maybe you're a drinker, it's time to stop drinking. Maybe you're disorganized, it's time to straighten up and fly right. Whatever those things are, the habits that are holding you back, look at new habits. And then relationships. Now, of all the things that impact your life, relationships have a very profound impact, because It is through relationships you can develop new contacts. It is through relationships you can develop new skills or have new possibilities. You know, most of the jobs that people get that they like don't necessarily come from a job posting, but come from somebody you know saying, hey, this job opening is there. This is a company I like working with. This business opportunity is available. And so the relationships that you form are critical to help you get from where you are to where you want to go. So on this step, in this particular your step of development, these 4 things impacting how you are right now, but these 4 things can help you move to the next step. And I think that's really what each of you on this call this morning would like to know. What do I need to do to move to the next step in my life to make me happier, to give me financial security, to give me emotional stability, to give me positive, uplifting relationships? The key to getting to that next step is to know what it is. You know, the Bible always talks about the promised land. What is the promised land? Well, the promised land is wherever you would like to be, doing whatever you would like to do, possessing whatever things you would like to possess, going wherever you would like to go. That is your promised land. And until you can define your promised land with microscopic scrutiny, definiteness, until you can lay out the promised land, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to have, this is where I want to go, these are the people I want to be around, these are the things I'd like to be involved in. Until you can state clearly those type of questions. And you know, that's one of the reasons the Success Toolbox is so powerful, because the New You Home Study course is a part of that toolbox. Helps you assess your present situation. So often we know we're unhappy, we just don't know what to do. So now this is the process of figuring out what to do. What would my life be like if my goals were met? What would my life look like if I had all the money I needed? What would my life look like with the good health? What would my life look like surrounded by people who love me and care about me? Then once you can take that picture now, don't just think about it. The 3rd law of success, the law of vision, it says this, comes straight from the scripture. It says, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets. In this age, we sometimes get away from the fundamental spiritual principles necessary to move us along on our life journey. Write the vision. The idea of taking a pen and writing it down. Now, you know, you younger people, I know a lot of you are typing the vision in your phone. And, you know, when the Bible was written, they didn't have phones. So it may be just like, type the vision in your phone, in your notes. Type it on your computer. But whatever it is, put it in a written form that you can read it and you can see it. And so when you can do that, when you can create that vision, when you can lay it out, write it out, I would like to be happy. Happiness for me, I see myself smiling. I would like to be financially secure. I see myself in the home of my choice. I see my mortgage paid off. I see enough money that I look at my budget, I can live my life indefinitely. I can do the things I want to do. I see habits that keep my health in good stead. I exercise, I walk. I see relationships with people who are excited about me, about seeing me, who when I walk in the room, they light up. And when you can write all of that down, you have created your promised land. The second part of that home study course, that New You Home Study course, is once you write that vision, to convert that vision into goals, into step-by-step goals. So, example, I want to have a house. I want my house to be paid for. Right? Do I have a house now? Nope. So then my goal, if that vision I see is to have my house with whatever, the picket fence, whatever your vision of a beautiful home may be, to have that home, write about it, even draw it and see it. And once you do that, you begin to create the vibration in your mind. The vibration, excuse me, we live in the law of attraction. That the vibration that you can create in your mind, in your spirit now, becomes a magnet to attract the very things that you want into your life experience. Folks, once you've written it in great detail, once you've laid out the steps to get you there, you know, you say, well, when I look down the road 10 years from now, I want to have my house. I want my house paid for. I want to have my family around me. So what can I do right now? Do you own a house right now? No. How much do you think a house is going to cost when you look at the house you want? Well, the house may cost $200,000. Yeah? All right. Well, what does it take to get a $200,000 house? Well, chances are you're going to need a down payment of at least 10%. So let's say you're going to need at least $20,000 in savings. Okay? You're also going to need an income level to support a $200,000 house. So you're going to be able to pay a mortgage of about $1,200 a month. Okay. So that means your mortgage is what, say a quarter of your income. So $1,200 a month, 4 times 1,200 is $4,800. So you're going to need to make at least $5,000 a month. That's what, $60,000 a year. Now that's probably lowballing it. Okay. But when you can lay it out in just that type of organized scrutiny, now you can translate that desire to have that paid for home in 10 years to say, all right, I need to accumulate $20,000. I need to have a job that makes enough money. So now, how quickly can I accumulate that? So you say, well, look, I'm going to take 2 years to save $20,000. That's $10,000 a year. Okay. That's about what, $900 a month. That's about let's just say $250 a week. So now that goal that you have translates into, how can I set aside $250 a week so that in 2 years I have $20,000 to buy a $200,000 house? That's how we create in the present what we need to do to create the future. Because now that dream says, what do I have to do to make an extra $250 a week? It may be, okay, I'll get a part-time job. One of my teachers, you know, when I was a child, teachers were, right, today it's probably even worse. Teachers had high regard but low salaries. And so many of the teachers who taught me in high school and junior high, in those days, we were in, we'll say, the segregated South, so the job opportunities for people who looked like me were very limited. So many of the teachers worked as waiters at the country club. And it turned out if you were a good waiter and knew how to stroke them and make them, you know, make it work for you, that you could make $200 over the weekend, even $250. One of my teachers was Melvin, and this man was like a teacher, but he had these great plans. He wanted to have a house. My mother had mentored him when he was a young man. I think his parents had died young, and he worked as a waiter at the country club. And he was so good at it that the rich people at the country club would hire him for their private parties. And I remember he said he loved to be paid in $100 bills. And so when he took care of a private party, he had his little team. And he said that the people always paid him with like, his fee was like $200 for the private party. He may have paid $50 to one of his assistants. But here was a brother, a man of color, and I won't tell you the time frame because it may scare you, but years ago, when you could make $200 a day for 3 or 4 hours work, that ain't even bad in these times. But he used that table waiting, and he was good at it, to save that money. And so in your life, it may not be something you're excited about doing, but when you focus on the prize, you say, okay, I can wait the tables. Okay, I can do whatever's necessary to make this $250 a week and set it aside. Now, that requires some other stuff to support it. You got to change your habits now. Because once your goal is in the center of your being, the habits must support that. So now you can't deal with immediate consumption. You're thinking about deferred gratification. And so at this point, you do whatever it takes to make that extra $250. So now what you do each week, when you look down the road, that means at the end of this year, you got 10,000 saved up at least. At the end of 2 years, you got over 20,000 saved. Over that 2 years, you've been adjusting your income so that you have enough income. Maybe you and your spouse, your significant other, whatever you do, so you have enough income. You've gotten your credit together. And so the idea is once you have that vision, then you can work out the goals, the steps that will take you there, and then you can break those steps down into doable things. Mixed by Keith, thanks for joining us. Sila, thank you for joining us. Nashe, thank you. King, thank you. So this lesson today is about how you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Realizing that life is just a series of stair steps. You get to one, you get unhappy, you see, you want to change, you do the things necessary to take you to that next step. So for my good friend Melvin, it was working as a waiter, wearing the little white coat, doing what it took to satisfy his employers so that they were happy to pay him more money than they paid anybody else. You know, many times when you need to make more money, if you can give more value, if you can be the best at whatever it is. If you're a house cleaner, you know, I don't have a college education. I only got to the 10th grade in school and all these negative things, but you say, I still want to own that house. I still want to do that. And you're a house cleaner, you'll be the very best house cleaner. So that when somebody brings you in, they say, well, look, Herbert, you know, that guy, he charges now. When he comes in with such meticulous concern, he brings a toothbrush to clean behind the mirrors. And so when you bring him in, you may pay him twice as much as you pay anybody else, but trust me, he's going to deliver that type of value and you're going to be happy. So today we talked about making your breakthrough. We talked about what you can do to move from where you are to where you want to be. And I guarantee each and every one of you, once we post this, please get back on and make some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what we shared today, about how the things that you can do to transform yourself. And I'd love to have you put some questions online. You know, when you make comments on our post, write some questions, because on Friday we'll deal with some of those questions. I want questions from you. I talk and I share stuff, but I'd love to share stuff that's relevant to you and the challenges you're facing in life. So to wrap it all up, you grow through where you want to go to. I'm going to say that again. You grow through where you want to go to. And that means that all the things that are happening in your life right now, the challenges, the difficulties, whatever's going on in your life right now, you have the ability to grow through it. Number one, it's happening for a purpose, to facilitate your growth. But now you can grow through it, because once you grow through it, you transform who you are into the next evolution of your being based on the purpose for which you were created. Solomon Bush, thank you for joining us. And so this day, today, I implore each and every one of you, if you're serious, and I believe you are, you wouldn't be up this time of morning if you weren't. But go to our website, check out our link tree in in the profile because there are a lot of goodies there, free stuff for you. And be sure to get on our mailing list, our distribution list for upcoming events. But also go to check out the Success Toolbox. Because anytime you want to create something new, you need the proper tools. And the Success Toolbox, it's at herbertharris.com, but the Success Toolbox has everything you need to get anything you want. It has the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the digital book. It also has the workbook that goes with it that you can download. And that workbook gives you the way to crystallize this knowledge so you can transform it into action steps. It has the 12 Universal Laws of Success audiobook, over 6 hours of recorded information. The recording of the book, I did it myself, so you can listen while you're driving, while you're sleeping. I'm a proponent of sleep learning. Put that thing on and sleep and let it just go into your subconscious mind. It has the New You Home Study course, which is a step-by-step course, home study course with workbook, with audio tapes to help you assess where you are in your life, to help you address the issues that you need to fix, to help you set some new goals. Essence of Faith, thank you for joining us. To help you set some new goals and then make a plan to achieve them. The home study course alone is it's really a $97 value. That's what we used to sell it for. It's a home study, do-it-yourself roadmap to take you from where you are to where you want to be. There's also the 12 affirmation poster and a number of audios like the Law of Command. There's an audio about wealth building. We call it wealth building in trying times. So if you're stuck right now being broke and having more month at the end of the money, that audio alone is enough to help you transform. So go to our website, herbertharris.com, and get the Success Toolbox. Everything you need to get anything you want, to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Don't forget, once this is posted, write your comments, write your questions so I can deal with what you need to know to get where you want to go. Dr. Herbert Harris, herbertharris.com, saying, come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. All right, folks. See you tomorrow. See you on Friday for Fantastic Friday. Thanks for being here. Please like and share.